Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder again with another AITA story for you. This one is, am I the astronaut for not being able to recall how I, 68 female, allegedly poorly treated someone, 33 female. I spend time with my daughters, their husbands, and children every few months. They also come to my house for their year-end holidays. On the other hand, I see my son and his wife and kids once a year, but it has been 6 years since they last joined us for Christmas. I really wanted to gather all my kids and their families for Christmas this year, so I started talking to my son early on. At first, he made the same excuses as before, why he doesn't fly to us as there's no nonstop flight to my city. He doesn't want to subject the little toddlers to potential flight cancellations due to inclement weather, etc. Upon pressing further, I learned it's his wife who refuses to do the holidays with us if the celebrations are hosted in my house. Of course that hurt my feelings, so I begged my son to put his wife on the phone. She only ever answers my text messages and never my phone calls, but I needed to talk to her this time. It was a very curt call, which ended in her telling me to expect an email. Finally, several hours later, I checked my email and it shows a long list of the times I overstepped boundaries per my son's wife. Some of the items on the list are as old as about 10 years ago, and honestly, I have no recollection of most of these. Some of the things that are mentioned are me trying to name their boys when they were born. Allegedly, I blame my son's wife for the decline in his fashion choices. Me allegedly telling his wife I was disappointed they didn't own a house and kept renting in Los Angeles, etc. There's a list with dates and more. As far as I'm concerned, I've only been welcoming to my daughter-in-law, cooking her favorites when they come to visit on non-holidays, making their stay comfortable, and so on. I texted my daughter-in-law and admitted that I don't recall most of the things she emailed and alleged that I've done. I called my son and asked him to back me up and reassure his wife that I love them all and maybe she just misinterpreted what I've been saying. Am I the astronaut for not having any memory of allegedly mistreating my son's wife? How do I go from here? It's hard to consider apologizing for things I don't recall doing or saying. I shared with one of my daughters the email and she said that his sister-in-law is just looking for situations to document and to let them be if they don't want to join us for the holidays. So the question is, am I the astronaut for not being able to recall how I allegedly poorly treated someone? The axe forgets what the tree remembers. I don't know that that's the overall verdict or moral of the story here, but it is an important thing to consider. Yes, the aggressor typically doesn't remember the harm that they've inflicted to someone else. The victim in the situation, the person who feels the pain, they do remember. So this could be 100% legit, and she could be a very abrasive personality that, at least to his wife, comes across very harshly. Enough that it was worth documenting to her or remembering at least the year of, remembering when it happened up to 10 years ago. Those things were a big enough deal for her to remember and write on a freaking list. Now, jumping on the phone and not being able to communicate that and saying expect an email, like there's a part of this that I do not like about how the wife approached. I understand wanting to take your time and make sure that you don't say anything that you'll regret. I understand that. And I am a person who needs to process a response before I give a response, because if it's a delicate situation like this, I want to be sure that I'm saying what I really feel and not what just flies out of my mouth. Funny, because I'm live streaming reactions right now. You know what I mean, though. If it's a big deal, you want time to formulate your response. You want to make sure that you're saying the right thing. So I get that, but it just feels very standoffish, her behavior this whole time. The other big problem that I have with this is that if this was enough for them to basically go no contact with her for 6 years, so what she's mentioning was 10 years ago, so there was 4 years of BS that happened that forced them to go no contact, basically. So this son, OP's son, knew this was all happening, and instead of being like, okay, all right, Ma, here's what's going on, here's why we can't go, just made excuses. Nobody sought a solution here at all. Their solution was just to go no contact with her, and that sucks. I get it. Some people can't be changed, and abrasive personalities are abrasive personalities, and sometimes the solution is to just create distance and keep distance there. I understand. If OP is one of those people who cuts with words without even realizing what they're saying, then it's unlikely that she's going to change her behavior, and if it is that big of a deal to OP's wife, I get it. How they approached it kind of sucks. That's my only problem with it here. Here's my other thing for OP. If you can't remember doing it, and if it's not a big deal to you, and if you truly want to have a relationship with these people, what's the harm in apologizing for it? If you can't remember doing it, you could just as easily say that you don't remember doing it, but you're sorry. If that happened, you're sorry. Don't say that. That's going to suck. Just apologize. Just apologize for it. If you want to have a relationship with them, apologize. You got to eat your frog, swallow your pride here, and just apologize for it. And also be very careful around her moving forward, because if you do want to have a relationship with these people, you're going to have to adjust how you deliver things. Clearly. Am I the astronaut for not being able to recall how I allegedly poorly treated someone? I don't feel like that's the question we should be answering here. No, you're not the asshole for not being able to remember something. I think the best summary question here could be, am I the asshole for not apologizing for something that I don't remember doing in order to reconnect with my son's family and start a relationship with them again? And then it would be yes. Yes, you are the asshole for not apologizing for that, because there is a reward for it. There's no reward for not apologizing here, is there? I'm not seeing one. It feels like, now I look at it from that angle, OP's son in this case is trying to keep the peace in his bubble. That's it. He's not trying to keep overall peace. He's not trying to foster connections with anyone. He's not trying to keep a big, happy family. He's just trying to make sure and avoid war at all costs. And sometimes that means staying in his home country. You know what I mean? He knows he's got maybe a strong personality here with strong opinions. He knows he's got a strong personality here with strong opinions. And the best thing he can do is keep them apart. But man, it feels like the right thing to do is to try to find a way that they can have a relationship. Maybe that's not the case, but it feels like an everyone sucks here. That's the direction I'm going to take it, because it feels like everyone could do something better. Everyone could absolutely be doing something better and or differently. Everybody sucks here. There's a way to solve this. Everybody's choosing themselves.